Right, disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so this is from U.S. Department of Labor. It's always interesting to read about what the laws actually are, isn't it? It's a bit dry, but it's extremely important. And so I'm going to go ahead and read some of this. Child labor enforcement, keeping young workers safe. Isn't that great? Too bad Serge Oblensky didn't get that. Or Daniel Moldalvo. But, you know, religion. Violations have increased. No kidding. Especially in religions. At the Wage and Hour Division, safeguarding children at work. Something sounds weird about that, doesn't it? Why are children working? I'm confused. Has always been our top priority. Wage and Hour Division investigations found a significant increase in children being employed illegally. No kidding. You know why, guys? Because greed rules the world. And in 2023, we launched a national strategic enforcement initiative. Oh, maybe that's the place we need to contact for all the Scientology children that are working. You know, lifting bricks and doing, what is it called, landscaping and all of that, manufacturing. Enforcement initiative on child labor to put additional emphasis on addressing this critical issue. Well, you guys, it's critical, okay? It's critical. So maybe we all should contact them since it's so critical. Fiscal year 2023, child labor enforcement data. In fiscal year 2023, we concluded 955 investigations. Wow, 955. That's the way to really get it, right? That found child labor violations, a 14% increase from the previous year. You know, because not all of them were investigated. We found nearly 5,800 children employed in violation of the law. Were the majority of those in cults? Inquiring minds do want to know, don't they? An 88% increase since 2019. And assessed more than $8 million in penalties. Did you hand out any of those penalties to Scientology? You know, Scientology, the multi-billion-dollar corporation that propagates itself as a religion with a fake cross? Did you find Scientology for all their child labor? You guys know I'm obsessed with gematria too, so. 955 closed cases in 2023. 5,800 kids employed in violation. Did that include the Jehovah's Witness children and the children in Scientology? How about the Mormon children? Are those children included? So $8 million assessed in penalties. I want to know who was penalized. 800 open child labor cases right now. Wonder how they got it to an even number. I mean, maybe they just round up, perhaps. 88% kids employed illegally since 2019. Up 83% in assessed penalties since 2022. And that's some good money for them too. Let's just be honest. You know? Child labor FY23 to FY22 comparative. It's pretty sparse data, isn't it? So from 1922, oh my God, you guys, 2022 to 2023, there was an increase. Young workers employed in violation. I don't understand what this one is. Young workers per compliance, 5 to 6. So that must be some type of a ratio. Compliance actions with hazardous occupation violations. Well, you really need to get over there to Scientology because they're getting all of their construction work, landscaping, factory work, manufacturing done by the children. You really need to go check them out. I think Scientology just alone would have these numbers. More, actually. And then allegedly there was a drop for young workers employed in violation of hazardous occupation orders. Well, of course you're going to have a drop when you don't survey everyone, right? Holy cow. You know, I would like more information though. I mean, I wonder if this is broken down. Like, who was penalized $8 million? And companies that have that kind of money, sometimes it's just a drop in the pan for them. It went from 4,386,205 to 8,039,728. Let's see here. So the civil money penalties assessed, and then children found employed in violation. It's $47 a week count. Department of Labor. Does $47 a week for a so-called religious minister that technically is a minor, even though they call the child an adult in a small body. Do they count too? Or do you just pretend they don't exist? I want to know, are those children in the stats too? Their voice matters too. Several of our child labor cases in fiscal year 2023 found severe violations and resulted in tragedy, like Serge Oblensky and Daniel Montalvo. These 3 investigations, or how about the Moxon girl? What's her name? Her first name? These 3 investigations demonstrate the ongoing threat that illegal child labor poses to kids. So I've heard about this. They have children working in the meat processing machinery. Thank God you guys can have your burgers due to child labor, right? For employing more than 100 children in hazardous occupations. Sawmill operations. Oh wow, that's my state. I'm embarrassed. You guys know it goes on everywhere. Sawmill operations. Florence Hardwood's a Wisconsin sawmill operator. Of course, it is farm town, not that I'm saying it's okay. Tragically resulting in one child's fatal work-related injury. Jesus. Is that what it took for them to come in? That is heartbreaking. You guys know those are the more psychopathic people that don't care about children are and have no compassion. They're more on the psychopathic, narcissistic. Meat processing machinery. Monogram Food Solutions. Paid over $140,000. Oh, wow, way to get them, right? A whole 140? That's it? In penalties after we found 9 teens. You guys always notice how people want to decipher teen between like the young children? That really irritates me a lot. Because they're trying to make it that, oh, it's not as bad when it's a teenager. I don't agree with that. Other enforcement efforts. We ensure compliance with federal child labor laws by initiating a national child labor strategic enforcement initiative. Golly, leave it to the government to have like 5 different titles. I think that must be the place we need to get a hold of to let them know about these children in Scientology working, doing landscaping, construction work, doing the 90% of the maid staff over in Scientology, they're children, little children, not teenagers, little children. Looking for child labor in every investigation the agency conducts. Sounds good, doesn't it? Collaborating with an interagency task force. I wonder who's in that interagency. Is LAPD in there? Because LAPD and Clearwater PD should probably, or maybe they shouldn't be involved because they get paid too much money by Scientology. It's documented. It's on public record. Developing new digital resources. I'm going to click on that. I'm curious what that is. Oh, wow, just thrilling. So it gives you a timesheet? Oh, I think Scientology children should go in there and plug in how many hours they're working, because they could see how much they should be getting paid based on all, like, what do they work, like 16 to 18 hours a day? If they were getting minimum wage, I think it'd be a lot more than $47. Just let everyone know. Prioritizing child labor concerns when handling complaints. Well, that's good to know. That means you must be on your way over to Scientology. Oh, look, they even have it in Spanish. Wonder where that would be. Sarcasm, you guys. Como? Oh, I was going to read it in Spanish. Why? Now, why would they do that? ¿Cómo presentar una queja? La división de horas y salarios. WHD, por sus siglas en inglés, es responsable de hacer cumplir algunas de las leyes laborales federales más comprensivas del país. Los trabajadores que están protegidos por estas leyes a menudo quieren saber cómo hacemos lo que hacemos. Muchas investigaciones se inician por denuncias las cuales son confidenciales. Es posible que no se revele el nombre del denunciante, el tipo de queja y si existe una queja. Un empleador no puede tomar represalias contra un trabajador por ejercer sus derechos, presentar una queja o cooperar en una investigación. You guys know I did that, right? My Spanish is not perfect, but I thought maybe someone who's a native speaker might be watching this. That's why I did that. And I know I'm not perfect with my Spanish. Okay, let's see. Working with stakeholders and other third-party sources to receive complaints. Now this I want to check out. I know this is kind of dry, you guys, but it's important. Third-party complaints. Now, who is considered the third party? That's what I want to know. Below is a detailed list of information that is helpful for a third-party complainant to contact the Wage and Hour Division on behalf of someone else. While you may not be able to provide all the information listed, the more information you make available, the better able WHD will be to address concerns raised. Okay, so your information. Employment information. Well, you know, Scientology, they always have names and titles just as if they are employment. So if you're upset about what you're getting paid in Scientology, it would behoove anyone to fill out these forms. Even if they're calling you religion, it would be good to have a lot of documentation on record. I think a lot of people should do that. Additional resources, places and types of work that are off limits for kids under 18. Well, let's go here. Let's see. Let's see the illegality of where the children in Scientology are working as we speak in real time right now. Ahora. What jobs are off limits for kids? Scientology better be listening up because we're watching you. Kids under 18 cannot do this work. Dangerous jobs that are off limits. Don't forget Serge Oblensky or Daniel Montalvo, just to name a few. And let's not forget the Mexican girl that just recently got a head injury over there in Clearwater because they couldn't cover it up. Below are places and types of work that are off limits for kids under 18. According to the Fair Labor Standard Acts and its regulations, there are additional rules for 14 and 15-year-olds. So if there's any 14 or 15-year-olds listening with their parent or guardian, these are the jobs that you by law are not supposed to be able to do. You should know this. Non-agricultural jobs, 14 to 15. Okay, if you are 14 or 15 years old, there are many limits to the kinds of jobs. And you guys know this is when they marry the kids off in Scientology, right? You think there's a reason for that? To the kinds of jobs that you can do in non-agricultural work, particularly in occupations that the Secretary of Labor. Wow, the Secretary of Labor has declared hazardous, you guys. That must mean what the children in Scientology are doing, that it's illegal. How crazy is that? However, once you turn 18 years old, these restrictions no longer apply. That means you're volunteering too. States also have rules. Okay, so for the 14 and 15-year-old children, minors, what hours can I work? If you are 14 or 15 years old, you can only work outside of school hours. Which you guys know they don't listen to that, right? They hide it pretty well, though. They'll have Department of Education and all these agencies come in, and then they'll check off all the boxes and act like they're following, but they're not. And everybody knows it. The federal youth employment requirements limit the times of day and the number of hours that you may work as well. You may not work more than 3 hours on a school day, including Friday. More than 18 hours per week when school is in session. And that includes if you're going to a Scientology school, just so you guys know. So all that digging holes until 10 o'clock at night, that's illegal. We want you to know this. If you happen to be listening to this with your parent or an adult guardian in the room. More than 8 hours per day when school is not in session. So you by law cannot be worked more than 8 hours. So if anybody's telling you that you need to work more than 8 hours, that's illegal. And don't trust the police, by the way. If you're trying to get the police to help you in Clearwater or LAPD, they're not going to help you. I'm just telling you. But there are plenty of us out here that will help you to get out of there. if you want to. More than 40 hours per week when school is not in session. Before 7 a.m. So when you guys have that 6 o'clock muster in the morning, that's illegal because they're doing a head count on you. A 6 o'clock muster in the morning is illegal. Isn't it crazy how I can put this all together just like in 5 minutes? Or after 7 p.m. So if you have a muster that's after 7 p.m., that's totally illegal in the United States. On any day except for from June 1st through Labor Day, when nighttime work hours are extended to 9 p.m. If you are homeschooled, attend private school, and that includes the LRH indoctrination schools, like Delphi and all those other ones, or no school. A school day or school week is any day or week when the public school where you live, while employed, is in session. There are some exceptions to the hour standards for 14 and 15-year-olds. They're not covering the other ages, though. You guys wonder why that is? I'm wondering why that is. Inquiring minds do want to know. If you have graduated from high school, you are excused from compulsory school attendance, or you are enrolled in an approved work experience. Oh yeah, Scientology, they're very good at really checking just exactly the right boxes on these. Or career exploration program. Yeah, Scientology kids, if you guys want to get out of Scientology and you're looking for like a career exploration program or a work study program, that's legal to go into. So you guys know. What jobs can I do? If you are 14 or 15 years old, you can work outside school hours in a variety of non-manufacturing and non-hazardous jobs for limited periods of time. And under specified conditions, the jobs that you are allowed to work at include the following. Most retail occupations, including cashiering, selling, price marking, packing, and shelving. Intellectual or creative work such as computer programming, teaching, tutoring, singing, acting, or playing an instrument. Errands or delivery, work by foot, bicycle, and public transportation. Cleanup and yard work. That's only cleanup and yard work, though. Does not include using power-driven mowers, cutters, trimmers, edgers, or similar equipment. Certain work in connection with cars and trucks, including dispensing gasoline or oil, and car washing or hand polishing. Some kitchen and food service work, including reheating food. So that doesn't mean being like the chef, like SP Chef was 9 years old working in the kitchen, or any of the other Scientology children. That doesn't mean complete KP work. That's for adults, not children. That's illegal what they're doing. Some kitchen and food service work, including reheating food. So that means you're not allowed to use the knives. You're not allowed to be using the stoves and any kind of equipment in the kitchens. That's illegal. If anybody's making you do that, they're making you do something that's against the law. Washing dishes. You can wash dishes, clean equipment, and limited cooking. Very limited cooking. Cleaning vegetables and fruits, wrapping, sealing, and labeling, weighing, pricing, and stocking of items. When performed in areas separate from a freezer or meat cooler. Loading or unloading objects for use at a work site, including rakes, handheld clippers, and shovels. 14 and 15-year-olds. I don't know what does it mean for the 13, 12, and 11-year-olds. I would assume that since they're not putting the 13, 12, and 11-year-olds in here, or the 10-year-olds, that's completely illegal for anyone 13, 12, 11, or 10 or below. 14 and 15-year-olds who meet certain requirements can perform limited tasks in sawmills and wood shops. 15-year-olds who meet certain requirements can perform lifeguard duties at traditional swimming pools. What jobs am I not allowed to do? And this is regarding a 14 or 15-year-old. So this is the law. This means police officers, this means FBI, and all these law enforcement are supposed to enforce these laws. And anyone telling you to do something different to go against it is telling you to break the law. Federal law establishes safety standards and restrictions for young workers in non-agricultural industries. If you are 14 or 15 years of age, the following is just a sample of prohibited occupations. You are prohibited from working in any of the hazardous orders or in most occupations involving transportation, construction. So Scientology children, all that construction that you guys are told to do, that's illegal. Warehousing, illegal. Warehousing means like being in a warehouse, moving the products around, packages, being told to drive a forklift, that's illegal. You're not old enough to do that by law. Communications and public utilities. You may not work in processing, mining, or any workroom or workplace where goods are manufactured, like a factory, like the CDs that they were making, the L. Ron Hubbard materials, the bookbinding, all of that, that's illegal. All of it is illegal. So you could just walk out right now. So all you have to do is walk out the door. Processed in freezers or in meat coolers. You may not operate or tend any power-driven machinery except office machines. That would mean like a forklift. There's a lot of like machinery. You're not able to do that legally. You may not perform any baking operations. So like the guy who calls himself SP Chef, who was in the Sea Org at 9 years old, when he was baking, if that was in the United States, that would be considered illegal. You may not be employed in youth peddling. Oh, like all the cults do. Sign waving or door-to-door sales activities. That would be children of God right there. You may not work from ladders, scaffolds, or their substitutes. Children in Scientology, now do you see why they hide you? Make sure you have your guardian or parent with you there while you're watching this video. You may not be employed to catch or co-op poultry. Okay. I'm going to check out this bulletin. See, back in the old days, all workplaces needed to post these. Of course, when you're calling yourself a religion and you're not complying with the employment laws, you're not told to put these bulletins up. But any of the young people that are watching this, you can either print this out or just take a screenshot. Don't let people make you break the law. Okay, how much should you be paid? An employer must pay you at least the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour for all the hours that you work, except under certain circumstances. And honestly, out here, that's not a lot of money. I'm going to do some math here. Okay, if there's any young people listening to this, I want you to see this. So let's say that you're working 18 hours a day. Let's say you're working 18 hours a day, right? We're going to multiply that by 7 because they never let you guys get time off, which is illegal, by the way. 126 hours divided by 47. That means you're getting $2.68 per hour, which would not be the minimum wage, which is $7.25. So anyways, that's all I had to do. I don't want to read the entire site, but I will leave the link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.